All right, I'm sorry, we are back. We are up and running again. Some technical issue, but yeah, that's how it works sometimes when you're trying to something new. Anyway, hopefully we are all together at the same place. I do believe. All right, so what is going on? Why? Hi Daniel, hi, nice to see you, thank you. Why pound is falling? It looks like it's Brexit story again, and we are pound being hit hard right around New York Open. Looks like few lawmakers will back Prime Minister May's Brexit deal, but correct me if I'm wrong, it's next week, so it's still plenty of time. Anyway, so if we have an action on the pound, let's start with British pound. The range from the 30th of January, all right, especially the distance between the open and close on the 30th as possible demand here on a daily chart, all the way down towards 30.50. Hi Ukbome, hi. In my opinion, so, and the bottom of the 26th of February, so that's where the bulls are trying to find the support. All those upper shadows, 20th, 21st and 2nd of the February, all the way down as possible demand on cable right now here at New York Open. The thing is that earlier today we had PMI services in UK, and to be honest with you, it wasn't that bad. And in my opinion, and not only in my opinion, we do have 3 PMIs in UK: manufacturing, construction and services, and this services one is the most important, I would say, and it wasn't that bad. So pound spiked higher towards 32 and found some sellers based on what we see on the left side. Anyway, for now we are within 131, 130.50 possible, very wide, unfortunately very wide possible demand zone. If we are talking about the supply, yesterday low, Friday low for now, and today's high represent possible intraday supply. The thing is that we are going to get 3 important things related to the pound later today. 3:45 CET time, we've got the final services PMI US. Then at 4 CET time, we do have ISM non-manufacturing PMI, and 35 minutes later, 4:35 CET time, we do have Mr. Carney. Okay, so that's where the pound may, especially it's right before the London fix, so that's gonna be very, very, very interesting. Anyway, from the intraday perspective, right, so this bottom been broken, so because of this current move to the downside, all right, for now, based on the based on the intraday perspective, looks like 31.50 over here, right, and over here. So we were trying to hold during the Tokyo, we are trying to hold these levels right before New York Open, and we crashed through that level. So right now 31.50 as a possible supply all the way up towards 31.77, 31.80 here on pound. If we would like to try to narrow the range from the daily, I would say that at some possible demand towards 30.90, taking into the consideration what we see to the left side. Okay, so we are right now within the possible daily demand. We are waiting. Let's have a look if we can see the test to the downside, if we can see the bears trying to look for some stops below 31, going down towards 30.85. Let's have a look if we are gonna to get that level. Anyway, bulls right now need to get back as soon as they can above 31.50 and above yesterday low 31.66. All right, so yeah, looks like it's all about the US data and Carney later today. So that's how the pound looks like for now. From the euro perspective, there was a services PMI within the EU as well, and to be honest with you, that wasn't that bad as well, right? So all in all, looks like it's all about US data, taking into the consideration that we have Super Mario Draghi on Thursday and we have non-farm payrolls Friday. All right, yes. So that, these two risk events, to be honest with you, I've been thinking that if we are gonna to get weaker EU numbers earlier today, we may try to crash 113 down towards 1240, and that's where we are gonna to wait for Draghi. But because PMIs wasn't that bad, looks like it's all about US number, and if we are gonna to get some kind of the ugly disappointment, yeah, we may see on euro dollar, for example, we may see Riley back towards the top of the range. Now, we were discussing this yesterday morning during our morning meeting, that for now, I would say that's not gonna be huge mistake, but in my opinion, we are trading the quite wide range in between 1450, 1550 to the upside. Downside is 13, 1240. All right, and looks like it's all about the old range over here. All right, we had for a 2.5 year. If we are gonna to find some time, I'm gonna to explain also the colors, because it's every color got some explanation on my chart, right? So just it's not, you know, accidentally yellow or accidentally green. I'm trying to have something in order here, and we'll try to explain a bit later, just for you to get the full picture. So from the weekly perspective, this old range, right, and the low from 11th of November 2018, sorry, and the latest from the week 10th of February, right, 12:30. So that's the bottom of that range. So my way of thinking for now, if that's what I'm gonna to look at, that's what I'm gonna to focus on, would be better from the trading perspective if we are gonna to get some ugly number out of US. All right, probably that would allow bulls to run some stops to the upside. I think that we would have a chance to see the weekly open around 1380, okay, and then market probably would try to consolidate ahead of the Draghi and non-farm payrolls. So about the Draghi and non-farm payrolls, we are gonna to discuss it tomorrow. We have two meetings tomorrow. We do have the one at 8 a.m. CET, like Frankfurt London Open, and then we have another one at 2 CET, so means same as today. Okay. For today, what we discussed yesterday, that this range on the hourly, right, from the 19th of February, all right, the range between 1307 even down towards 1275 on 1 hour chart. On 15-minute chart it's a little bit tighter. Hi Ronaldo, thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's a little bit tighter. We hit that yesterday, but I can imagine that it might not be enough. Some guys may want to look for more stop to the downside, and yeah, let me scroll to this, what we've seen on the hourly second ago. That's the 15 minutes, right? And that's the latest, yeah, we can make it like this, all right? That's the latest manipulation thing here to the downside with strong reversal, right? And now please watch, after this strong reversal on 19th of February, we never get back and retest this zone, right? So my way of thinking, plenty of stops, that's what we were discussing yesterday, and we hit yesterday almost to the peep, all right? There is some space in case of maybe pre-US data attempt to hit some additional stops. So this 1312 1296 maybe, that's what I'm gonna to watch, what I'm gonna to look at around the US data. All right. Unfortunately, the volatility on euro dollar is not that big. So in that case, yeah, we have to have entry almost to the pip. Actually, to be honest with you, from my perspective, when I'm doing the day trading, for me is yeah, it's like either I'm right or wrong. Okay, so in that case, I have a possibility to place very tight stop, and especially when I'm using, so on from that perspective, with very tight stops, right? Unfortunately, there is a possibility I'm gonna be stopped out immediately, right? But that's the reason I'm using very low risk, right? As I mentioned before, in between 0.1% to 0.5%, but that's, as I mentioned before, that's what we are going to discuss next week from the risk perspective. So in that case, I do understand that once I'm trading with very tight stops, right, I may have series of stops during the day, right? I may have 1, 2, 3, 4 stops, but if it's 0.1, again, it's just 0.4%, right? I know that there are plenty of information that you can find around forums and stuff like this. Guys are saying that they are risking 2% per trade. Most probably they never trade for any institution before. If you have, especially if you have some limits within the institutional desk trading, then yeah. But that's for another meeting. Anyway, and then if I'm trying to have a like 6, 8, okay, on cable 12 with in regards to the day trading, 6, 8, 12 pips stops, right? Then it's easier for me to get 3R, 4R, 2R, right? So in that case, I may have 1, 2, 3 stops in a row, but then one trade, there is a huge possibility it's gonna to cover those stops, and I'm gonna stay positive at the end of the day. But again, that's something we are gonna to discuss over the course of our meetings. We just started, and actually what we agreed with Sebastian from Light Forex, especially March, that's gonna be like test period. I'm doing similar stuff in Polish language. I'm Polish. I'm doing similar stuff in Polish language for Light Forex guys for almost 3 years. So yeah, hopefully you are gonna to find at least few things useful for you. So we have two majors. We have euro dollar and we have cable. Let's switch to dollar yen for a second before we are gonna to make the first break. And in regards to the breaks, I'm not sure because of this technical issue at the very beginning. Let me explain you one more time. The morning meetings are the shortest one, something around 40-45 minutes, just Frankfurt Open and pre-London Open, right? The afternoon meetings are a bit longer, 3 parts. Usually there are gonna be 3 parts. Unless the market is totally dead, then there is no reason to watch if nothing is going on. But usually the afternoon meetings are gonna to have 3 parts. The first one from New York Open for around 40-45 minutes, then short break waiting for the early close, another 40-45 minutes. So we are gonna to cover pre-New York Open and cash open in New York, another break, and around the option expiration, summary of what we discussed, trying to have some kind of the scenario for the second part of the New York session, right? Then depends on the outcome from you guys. It might be that we may change the working hours, right? But of course the Europe and the US, that the most liquid sessions, especially if we have together London and then New York Open, that's the most liquid and session, and yeah, that's where the trading opportunities may arise. All right, so let's check the higher time frame dollar yen. And we were discussing yesterday, on Friday, after strong US data, we took out this huge range from the 26th of December 2018, right? It was supposed to work as possible supply, and to be honest with you, I've been thinking that the low 27th of December, the low from that day, that should be enough. And to be honest with you, yeah, 11th of February, 12th of February, I thought that, yeah, that's gonna work that way. But the bulls took out this low, then consolidation and another run higher. And now, yesterday, compared to what we've seen on last Friday, so we may call it inside bar, right? Especially the last 3 days of the last week, was moved to the upside. So this inside bar suggesting that at least we are gonna to retest. We are gonna to look for some stops above Friday high, most probably in that case, and that's what we've seen, what we have here in the blue color. And I'm gonna, in the second part of our meeting later today, I'm gonna to explain the colors, I promise. We have this lower shadows, right? Every time in 2018, especially in November, when we were going down towards 1250, 1220, all right, there was a lower shadow, higher, lower shadow. Finally, we broke through in December, and we know what happened at the very beginning of 2019, right? So this zone here in between, I would say the low from 19th of December, all right? We are talking about 1210 plus minus, all right? Friday high was not enough. So that's why I think there is a room at least to look for some stops to the upside, all right? And then eventually failure, daily close below the high, Friday high. Oh, that may say something to us eventually, all right? And eventually failure above, then and only then I will look for some intraday shorts, especially yesterday price action on Nasdaq, right? And this a bit negative sentiment, it may finally work with yen again. Of course, the interest rates difference is in favor of dollar bulls here, but yeah, if we are gonna to repeat something like this in US and especially Nasdaq, if we are gonna to close below 7,100 and open, if we are gonna to open 6,970, that things may get interesting here. Okay. All right, guys. Anyway, yeah, that's 40 minutes. We had some technical issue, but anyway, we are not gonna to. We cannot move the market, so we have to wait. Let's wait. Let's see where we are gonna to close the first hour of the New York session. All right. It might be very interesting how they going to position themselves into the US data. Nothing on the pound, on the options front, nothing on euro dollar, a bit higher, plenty of stuff around 112, few billions, around 1990, 1995 and 12. So yeah, on the dollar yen, we may see some kind of the few pips higher, few pips lower ahead of the option expiration, especially that we have PMI and ISM. All right, so let's have a short break. They are gonna be short movie, then my charts are going to be back. All right, but the voice is going to back around the top of the hour. Okay. So yeah, we can have some drinks, water, tea, coffee, whatever you like. And see you around within the next 15-20 minutes.
It would be great to have someone who could do our work for us, right? Someone to prevent us from making mistakes. Someone to assist with our routine professionally and allow us to devote our time to communicating with our closest people. If only we could get results without wasting our time for nothing. Unfortunately, it's impossible in real life. But wait, light Forex social trading. Spend your time doing what really matters to you.
Hi guys, welcome. That's the second part of our today's meeting. We are getting closer to New York cash open. We are getting closer to US data. So let's have a look how the first hour of the New York session ended. That's the PMI in Europe. All right, and since then we never get closer to the low of the day. So the pre-PMI low, yesterday low, as possible pull with some stops. I'm not sure if we are gonna to revisit the yesterday low. Anyway, we also get the problem with the we got the problem with yesterday New York high, right? Late New York rally. Tokyo, the guys in Tokyo were not able to take out this high. So to the downside, the stops are below 19 and below yesterday low. We are talking about 09, and to the upside we have possible stops above 40, 45, 48. All right, and that might, if we are gonna to take out the high, it might open the way towards the weekly open, and that's what we are going to discuss right now. Some colors and some lines on my chart. So that's gonna be quick, fast, nothing extraordinary. All right, it helps me. I'm not sure if it's gonna help you, but it helps me to be on a safe side. All right, especially from the day trading perspective. I like to switch to the 5-minute chart. I like to switch to 1-minute chart. Then if I have some lines and I see particular colors, I know what may eventually happen. Okay, so red color, red color. Okay, so if I'm gonna to start the analysis from the monthly chart, right? So whatever I see which is in my interest on the monthly chart, then I'm placing, if it's a possible supply, possible demand zone, then it's some kind of the red rectangle, right? And what I'm gonna do with this visualization, it's on each time frame. All right, so then doesn't matter for me if I am on daily, if I am on hourly, 5-minute chart. If I'm gonna to see red rectangle, means that we are approaching possible supply, possible demand based on the monthly. So that's gonna be, for me, from the day trading perspective, very, very important. If we are talking about the single line, usually horizontal one, and if that's the red color of the line, usually that's the particular level based on the monthly chart. It might be previous month high, current month high, previous month low, current month low, right? Particular level. So that's what the red color represents. Monthly chart, visible on all time frames. Then the next one, if we are going down from monthly to weekly, that's gonna be blue color, and I'm trying to change the visualization. I don't want to see weekly levels on the monthly chart, all right? So what I'm trying to do, sometimes, yeah, it's possible I'm going to forget, then I have to clean my chart. Anyway, the blue color is going to be on the weekly, daily, 1 hour, 15, 5 minutes, 1 minute, right? To be honest with you, I'm not using 4-hour charts that often. Either it's daily or hourly, then down 15, 5, 1. Yeah, you've heard that there is a huge mess on the 1 minute chart. How can someone trade on the 1 minute chart? If you know what you are looking for, the 1 minute chart probably is the best place to find what you are looking for. But that's my opinion only. I know it's not gonna work for many people. Simply, I know. I used to work with few of my colleagues, friends, and simply some of them, they couldn't adopt to 1 minute chart. Doesn't mean that I'm trading off 1 minute chart, right? I'm not doing the whole analysis based on 1 minute chart. If I know what I want to do based on the daily, if I know what I want to do based on the hourly, right? If I have my zones, if I have my levels, then I'm switching to the 1 minute chart and I'm waiting for particular action. That's something we are gonna to discuss during our journey, during our meetings. So no worries. The next, going lower from weekly to daily, it's gonna be green. So plenty of green around. As you I'm sorry. Let's get back for a second. Let's get back for a second to the blue, because there is a blue dotted line, all right, and it represents current weekly open. All right. I like to know. Usually it's good to know where we are compared to weekly open, right? That's quite important from my perspective. That's quite important for me. Okay. It might give us many useful information. Again, we are gonna to discuss it in the future. No worries, I'm not gonna leave you without the further explanation. Going lower, green color, of course. Now we know it's a daily. So as you probably noticed, many different green lines, green zones. So that's some levels, some zones based on the daily charts. And in that case, if I have wide zone based on the daily chart, like what we have right now on cable, right now, from 131.20 all the way down to 30.75. So for me, from the day trading perspective, it's a 55 pips, and yeah, I may use this type of the stop for, I don't know, swing trading from the higher time frame, but it's not acceptable for me from the day trading perspective. All right. So in that case, once I have this zone, what we did during the first part of our meeting today, we switch to the lower time frame, we switch to the 1 hour, we narrowed the range, then we can go even lower to 15, then to 5, then to 1 minute, and then I know exactly where I would like to open and where I would like to place my stop and what I want to do within the zone from the higher time frame, and what I would like to see on the 1 minute chart, for example. All right. And then lower time frame, so actually intraday. Yeah, I've been thinking some few years ago. I've been thinking that I'm gonna to do in order, like let's say I don't know, dark orange on early, yellow on 15 minutes. But to be honest with you, if it's yellow or dark orange or I don't know, violet, then I know it's intraday, and that's enough for me. So yeah, what I like to trade. I like to trade within the zones. I like to trade some kind of the false break on the smaller time frames, for example. Sometimes I'm trading right of the zone if we are approaching possible demand zone. I may wait with my market limit order to buy. If we are approaching possible supply zone, I may wait with the ready limit to sell. Yeah, but actually, to be honest with you, I would say that yeah, almost every example is a little bit different. And yeah, if we are going to have something on the chart today, I will try to explain step by step if I'm gonna be ready to do something today. Again, reminder, as it's guys, it's our second meeting. You have no knowledge, basically, some very basic from me for now. So I can't imagine that you are gonna to eventually trade. If I'm gonna to trade, you may test it on the demo account. Eventually, you can call it paper trading. All right. But yeah, so trying to finish the colors, right? Yeah, any kind of the orange, yellow, it represents intraday zones, intraday levels, right? So okay, narrow range in euro dollar, something like 25. A bit better on pound, especially with this pre-New York Open crash. Dollar yen, I'm only interested if we are gonna to try to take out Friday high and we are gonna to fail within intraday zone. Actually, dollar yen is quite interesting after this beginning of the year crash, right? Most probably there is a chance we are gonna to see even higher levels on dollar yen, as long as market it's gonna not to focus on US debt. That's because rate differentials are, as I mentioned before, in favor of bulls. Or if we are going to see huge stock sell-off related to any kind of the event, I don't know, maybe US China, maybe few bad US numbers in a row, like today ISM, then maybe Friday non-farm payrolls. So risk of sentiment, then JPY might be treated as a safe haven, right? We're also approaching end of the fiscal year in Japan, so there, some yen may get back home. But for now, from the midterm or longer term perspective, as long as we are above 110, I would say that bulls for now are quite safe. Okay, we have like 14 minutes to US cash open, so let's have a look what we have on Nasdaq. Okay, yeah, and that's what I've mentioned before. Sometimes the visibility is, yeah, but we can easily make the cleaning here. Actually, I'm not trading indices very often. I do prefer FX. I do prefer especially majors. But because US cash market is gonna be open, so at least we can have a look on the Nasdaq, where we are, what we may expect eventually. All right. One important thing, that's something you may need in the future. Maybe that's something it's gonna help you in the future if you are gonna to remember about that. If we have some kind of the range, or if we have some kind of the channel, or if we have very strong resistance, right? Especially let's say double top, where the second top is a bit lower, or triple top. What I think, and to be honest with you, frankly speaking, yeah, it helped me many times. Of course, because of this type of the approach, I missed few trades, all right. But one thing I like is some kind of the failure, some kind of the stop hunting. I mean, let's say we are I don't know, creating the top on euro dollar, right? So most probably we are gonna to end. It's an example. I'm not talking about the current euro dollar situation, just an example, right? So to be clear, right? And let's say we are moving higher on euro dollar, and most probably we are not gonna to create the top unless we are gonna to hit some stops with strong rejection, and then based on particular price action over here, right? That's for me, right? That's gonna tell me that, all right, there is a chance from my risk perspective, probably we hit the euro dollar top, and it might be the time to try to switch to the sell rallies, for example, right? I remember before financial crisis, I wouldn't say that it worked for me great, or it was it was a holy grail. It was not, but it was like average return once I adopted to myself the breakout and breakdown strategies, right? Right now, because of the much lower volatility we have right now, I do prefer to fade some moves instead of trying to catch the breakout. If there is a breakout, I'm gonna be ready to buy on a retest, right? So yeah, that's my approach. So we may finish some move in one direction by hitting some stops. That's what I'm trying to say to you. As long as there is no some signs that, all right, some stops, more stops been hit, I would be very careful trying to trade opposite side to the particular current move. Okay, but that's something we are gonna to dig deeper in the future, so no worries. All right, so what we have here, Nasdaq. Jesus, no volume rally, someone said. Jesus, huge manipulation, doesn't matter. Shorts, stops were taken out. Where we are, we got the problem with this beginning of December 2018 high. All right, this one here. Okay, looks like we are trying to take out this high, but yeah, we do have some problems, especially it's related to what we have here. 7th of November, 8th of November. All right, so all these highs and then previous one, but that's 7,300 as far as I remember, so not for now. So what we have here is a based on the chart I'm using right now, light Forex MT4, the high 7,220, the high here 7,140, so like 80 points zone, and of course lower volatility right here. It might suggest we are gonna to hit some more stops. All right, the question is, once we are gonna I'm sorry, once we are gonna to get back and close below the open from the 4th of December, and we are talking about 7,050, then psychological 7,000, we may see move down towards blue line from the weekly chart. We are talking about 6,830, and we are talking about this top of this consolidation over here, right? But I do believe that once bears are gonna be able to close below psychological 7,000, that might be the toughest thing. All right, because right now, once we got back above 7,000, look here, back above 7,000, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 14, yeah, almost 2 weeks. Bulls are sitting comfortably above 7,000, and they don't want to go lower, right? So once we are gonna be able to close, especially if we are gonna to be able to close the week below psychological level, that might be some kind of the nice development, and then I will start to monitor again from the short side. For now, from the intraday perspective, in that case, we are gonna to place few lines, additional lines over here. Green one, right? That's the first one. There was a nice move. We are doing this. I've been covering this one in Polish language. As I mentioned, I'm doing the same stuff we are doing right now. I'm doing in Polish language for Light Forex Poland. Anyway, okay. So what we have here is a very tight range, and yeah, it's very good visible based on the yesterday price action, right? Strong sell-off, and then really into the end of the session. Okay. So based on this, if we are gonna switch to 30-minute chart, so right now I would say, yeah, it's gonna be quite important how we are gonna to behave within the first 5 minutes. I like the first 5 minutes trading range, and we are gonna to watch that range. So we are trapped right now in between yesterday close and this high from December, right? I wouldn't be surprised if we are gonna to see another slow attempt to hit some stops, but based on this intraday price action over here, right? If bears are strong enough, they may start to attack over here, or right after the open we may see pre-market stops to be taken out, and we may see really, yeah, towards this lower shadow, yeah, this breakdown point over here. So that's what we are gonna to watch within the next 3 minutes. Usually in that case I'm switching to 1 minute chart. I'm placing 3 lines and I'm monitoring first 5 minute trading range. The lines are gonna be visible on 1 minute and 5 minute charts, and the dotted line is gonna be New York cash market open. All right, not pre-market, not post-market, but cash market. So we have 2 minutes to New York open. Euro dollar trying to look, the bears are looking for some downside, so we are looking for this PMI low. I wouldn't be surprised. Some of you maybe know, some of you probably don't know. There is some kind of the over-under strategy. Let's have a look if we are going to hold. If we are going to hold this 18 and the low is 16. Okay. So basically, based on my approach, right? Yeah, but it's on 15 minutes. Yeah, I would say more or less done. Let's have a look. Lower time frame. Yeah. No, I'm sorry. It's done here as well. And 1 minute charts around this PMI low, pre-PMI low. It's done here as well. So yeah, I'm not interested here. So we may try to see the attempt to break yesterday low, right? Yeah, as I mentioned, it might be all about US data. All right, so let's switch to Nasdaq for a second. We've got like 20 seconds to open. Nothing special in the news services. All right, there you go. Sky is the limit. Anyway, what do we have? We have cash open over here. And yeah, that's the high for now. And yeah, a bit lower. Oh no. I'm wondering which stops are gonna to be taken out first. All right, new low. Sometimes there is, in my opinion, there is based on this first 5-minute range, is possible to get at least what is going to happen within the during the first part of the New York session. How we are going to look like at the end of the Europe. Alright, so looks like we may revisit 7,140, 7,130. Looks very similar to what we've seen yesterday. And during one of our next meetings, or maybe during the webinar, I'm going to explain what I'm looking at, what I'm looking for within this first 5 minutes, and what I would like to see within the next half an hour, right? Trying to determine what may or may not happen. Again, it's not always work, but useful for me again. Yeah, it might work if I'm correct with the direction. It might help me with, let's say, dollar crosses, yen crosses, I'm sorry, Swiss franc crosses, for example, right? It may work that way. Doesn't mean I have to trade the Nasdaq. We are getting closer to the US numbers, so for sure I'm not gonna trade before announcement. There is no reason to do that from my perspective. It's gonna be very interesting because we have this Q2, and then at the top of the hour PMI and ISM, and then at the top we have, at the top of the hour, we also have option expiration, and especially from the dollar yen perspective, that's gonna be very, very interesting, especially if we are gonna to get strong number, right? And if the one Q2 and if when the market is going to try to push above 112, that might be very interesting how we are going to behave. All right, nothing special. What's the range? Yeah, 15 points. So that's actually this kind of the range. It's not gonna tell me anything, especially that it's within the last swing to the upside, the pre-market move. Anyway, we are gonna to watch carefully, especially this green, the cash close, yesterday cash close. Am I right? Yeah, that's the yesterday cash close. So that might be very interesting. Yeah, they are trying to react. But again, I would be very careful. I think that at some point, yeah, we may at least ask for stops. Yeah, even if we are going to try to go higher, we most probably are going to ask for these stops. But what is important right now, we are still below US cash open. We're trying to right now. Yeah. Anyway, So that's how the Nasdaq looks like. Yeah, euro dollar is trying to hold this PMI low, pre-PMI low. So we hit some possible stops based on the high after cash entry. All right, that's gonna be interesting if we will go lower and close back below cash entry. Right now, one may argue that all this action to the downside, right, within first 3-4 minutes, and the action to the upside move higher, one may argue it, yeah, it was possible, it was some kind of the accumulation. So cash entry level, these upper shadows from the minute chart, yeah, it may works for a while as a possible demand. Just reminder, in regards to the options market, nothing special, just dollar yen, yeah, few billions in between 111.90, 111.95, 112. What was the day open today on euro dollar? 1340, then yesterday level 48. So yeah, if we can push above 50, that things might get interesting from the intraday perspective. But we need some combination because, yeah, all the latest, as I mentioned on Nasdaq, right? Cash open, this upper shadow looks for now at least like some kind of the demand at the very beginning. We need some, yeah, because we saw very good US data, and today the European wasn't that bad. So to get some action, yeah, it would be good to see some kind of the, yeah, ugly US number. The question is if it's possible, right? To get ugly US number. Anyway, the second part of our today's meeting is getting closer to the end. So again, we are going to have a short break. On the chat window, I'm gonna to put US data, and yeah, charts are gonna be visible, and my voice is going to get back around the option expiration, around the ISM. All right, so let's have some water, coffee, tea, juice, all these non-alcoholic drinks, because we have to work, right? And right after the option expiration, we are gonna to get back and we will try to make a summary. We will try to discuss 1 or 2 possible scenarios for the second part of the US session, right? All right, so let's have a break.
It would be great to have someone who could do our work for us, right? Someone to prevent us from making mistakes. someone to assist with our routine professionally, and allow us to devote our time to communicating with our closest people. If only we could get results without wasting our time for nothing. Unfortunately, it's impossible in real life. But wait, Light Forex Social Trading. Spend your time doing what really matters to you.
Hi guys. It's the third part, the last one today. We got very strong US ISM non-manufacturing index, 59.7. Expectations was 57.4. Very strong read. Now, so we don't have this, good EU, good UK, bad US numbers. So what we may see, and what I'm trying to summarize today's meeting slowly. What I'm going to watch, I'm going to monitor the reaction, especially on dollar yen. I don't need this one, and I don't need this one anymore. What I'm gonna to watch, I'm going to watch Friday high. We are talking 1207, 1208. I'm going to watch, based on the daily, lower shadow 19th of December. We are talking about 0910. I'm going to watch a low 1220.25, right? All these lower shadows based on the weekly chart, blue color, as you can see. So let's switch to weekly. Yeah. We are going to discuss this in the future, right? If the big guys want to hide the initial move, how they can do this, probably. I'm not gonna go into the details today, and we are gonna to leave it for maybe next week, maybe next 2 weeks. But that's the full beginning, the full second week of the December, right? It was like the short accumulation and then strong move to the downside. So the low, the open 24.57, and Friday high. That's what I'm gonna to watch today. Where is possible demand? We are talking about the dollar yen. Probably the stops we took out based on the daily. So we are talking about the high from the last week of December, probably. So we are talking about 1140, all right, and we are talking about the high here, what happened 2 and 3 weeks ago, and we may place we may do this way, all right. And the last one, we are talking about this first week of New Year and this move to the downside. In that case, for now, we may use this as a possible demand based on daily. All right. Option expiration. Now it's easier for dollar yen to show up again above 112. There is a risk from dollar bulls perspective that again Mr. President Trump, same as over the weekend, will say that Fed hiking hurting economy and strong dollar hurting economy. So be careful and watch or have open in the background the Twitter account of Mr. President Trump. Okay, that's how it looks from euro dollar yen perspective. Now, as I mentioned that we are gonna to ask for these stops below the low of the first 5 minutes. Right now, thanks to the number, bulls are trying to get back above cash open. yeah, V formation, not the first one, probably not the last one. I would be careful here around the high of the day, taking into the consideration what happened during the pre-market, right? It may open the way towards this breakdown point over here. We are talking about 7,178. But that's the good excuse right now for bulls on Nasdaq to try to push it higher, try to squeeze the weakest shorts right now. It shouldn't be a huge problem, all right? And if you noticed here, I will try to move to the left side. If you noticed here, that's the cash entry from yesterday, so that's useful as well. So what I'm gonna do, some kind of the yellow color, and that's the possible supply as well, okay, especially the bottom. So this breakdown of this 5-minute range as well. Okay, that's how it works on Nasdaq right now. I've been wondering, yeah, let me check one more thing here. That's the first 5 minutes. Did they hit 1-to-1 with stops? Yeah, and so where we may see them, yeah, looks like two first 5 minutes ranges to the upside, and we are around the yesterday 5 minutes opening range. Yeah, that's interesting. Okay, USA. All right, so what happened? Oh. What bulls don't wanna see here is the end of the hour like this and move below open of this candle, right? That might confirm hidden supply here, but that's something we are going to discuss in the future as well. There's plenty of time, just 10 minutes, first 10 minutes. All right, and there you go. That's gonna be interesting. We hit yesterday low, we hit intraday demand zone, we hit plenty of levels. Yeah, that's the manipulation over here. Now things may get interesting. So let's switch lower. Oh, this upper shadow is a bit uglier. Might be bullish above 15. I wouldn't be surprised to see retest of the figure. So 13 level. If you are gonna to see, it's again, it doesn't work every time. First, I'm gonna to tell you, then you have to watch. Yeah, you have to know what you are looking at. You have to know what you are looking for. You have to test it. Yeah, more than 100 times. That's how it works on my side, right? Yeah, I may say that something works for me or doesn't work for me only in case I make more than 100 examples, right? But how many of us behave is that we very quickly falling in love or hate some things, right? Especially that if something is working after 3 or 5 tests, we would like to apply immediately. Then next 10 times we are gonna be stopped out, and and we are cry me a river. Or totally opposite, right? Something is not gonna work 3-5 times, and then no, come on, completely doesn't work. What are you talking to me? Anyway, if you are gonna to see attempt to rise on euro dollar moments after the, I would say at the bottom of the hour, right? So something like in between 30 to 40, 35 to 45, I would be very careful with longs at that time of the day. I would rather prefer, in case of longs, I would rather prefer to see attempt to rise in the way of creation lower shadow closer to the end of the hour, and would like to see where we are 30 minutes later around the Europe close. Okay, that's again some details I'm gonna to explain over the course of our meetings. Just a reminder that tomorrow, just let me finish euro dollar and the reminder later. So in case we are gonna to see move back above yesterday low, would be great, for example here on 15-minute chart, to see the 15-minute candle to close above the lower yesterday close. That would be even better, right? So in that case we are talking about something around 13-14, all right, so 7 pips higher. But as I mentioned, we may see what I like to do is to try to visualize what I'm gonna to do if I'm gonna to see this type of the action or this type of the action, right? Okay, trying to visualize, all right, this 15 minutes candle is coming to the end, all right? We may see a little bit of speeder move to the downside, okay? And it depends. Either I would prefer to see this type of the action, like within this next 15 minutes, I would like to see for the first 3-5 minutes, I would like to see market trying to push the price lower, and then I would like to see move above the candle open, create the lower shadow, right, and trying to engulf as much as we can of that 15 minutes candle, right? So would be great to see this type of the demand. I know it's only candle, but you will see in the near future something may help you. Some of you, strongly believe some of you are gonna to call it useful. Yeah, it's 11 pips, so it was quite good. 7 is minimum, but we are gonna to get back. It's not on 15, has to be a smaller time frame. Yeah, I have many things to share with you, but we need the time, right? Okay, so strong close of the first 15 minutes, so continuation possible. So this visualization we were discussing, especially that we are below yesterday low. The open of this next candle is below yesterday low, right? So yeah, push lower possible, and then if we are going to manage within this candle to go through the entry, especially that we are within the possible demand, I may jump in on the move back above 9, and then I will actively monitor. I want to see what is going on. Doesn't mean that it has to after the initial reaction it has to still follow my bullish scenario in that case, right? I'm not going to hesitate to close -2 +2, right? Hopefully you're gonna be able to see how I'm doing this stuff. It's nothing extraordinary. Again, some may call it that it's it's too aggressive. It's for some of you it may not work at all. We'll see. Anyway, we'll look for any kind of the reversal around current level. If we are gonna close at London fix, and then half an hour later, if we are gonna to close below 13, below 12.95, yeah, we may see 12.50, 12.40 by tomorrow, or by ECB and Draghi press conference, right? So I would be very careful. But again, if I'm gonna to see what I'm waiting for from the eventually from the risk perspective, I mean distance between entry and stop and the possible target, it might be not a bad idea to try to chase a bit here. We'll see. Let's switch to 1 hour back. Where is this manipulation? It's over here, and this shadows breakout at 13 right now. We are talking about this, right? So as I mentioned before, the whole zone is like this, right? So we may even hit the green based on the daily, right? Which been tested already. But that's how it looks on what we've seen on 15-minute chart, as far as I remember. And would be good from the buyer's perspective to try to hold it, break out this 113, and it looks like we are trying. So let's switch to lower time frame. Let's have a look what we have. Okay, so we know where is 15 minutes candle open, right here. And that's the visualization I would like to see. All right, to the right side. Maybe I should change the color. Let's change to the green, right? It's a positive candle. Okay, no action from my side right now. Let's have a look how active bulls are gonna be around the figure. Okay, someone may ask why you are looking to buy if we are falling on euro dollar. Actually, as I mentioned before, I think we are within the wide range and we are getting closer to the bottom of the range. Once we are gonna to take out the bottom of the range, once we are gonna be able, or bears are gonna be able to close below that bottom of that range, then the situation will change, right? As of now, in my opinion, we are testing the bottom of the range. Of course, everyone and his dog is expecting dovish Draghi Thursday. So everyone and his dog is trying to prepare himself and his dogs to sell short euro dollar, and that's why I'm so afraid of selling. I'm not saying it's not gonna happen, and on Thursday we may see, I don't know, 11, right? So don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it's not possible, it's very likely, but yeah, we have to take the other side of this story. So is everyone, when everyone is trying to sell, right? So those guys who are providing the liquidity, you think that they are gonna to, if they expect this thing as well, that everyone is gonna to sell euro, do you think that they are gonna to lose the money, or they are gonna to manipulate somehow the market? That's, yeah, that's how it may be. So yeah, I'm very curious where we are going to close, where we are going to be at fixing at 5. We know what I'm waiting for, what I'm looking at here. Just one more thing. It might be another small lesson. In case we are gonna really go higher, right? So we are gonna to move above 15 minutes and candle entry, right? We are gonna to try to build a positive body, right? In case we are gonna to getting closer to the end of the 15 minutes period, we are gonna to be like in the crossroads, right? Plus minus 1 or 2 pips. Most probably I'm gonna to cut the position, right? I wanna see, once we are gonna to turn to the upside, I wanna see shorts covering their position, right? So I wanna see 10-12 pips Riley immediately. Okay, in that case. But it's getting too long. It's 8 minutes already. Not sure if we are going to have enough time to try to squeeze some shorts. So the next period of time, next 15 minutes, is the period if we are going to see attempt to go higher, that's not the time we want to join the party. All right, just remember. And pound looks like bulls trying harder here than on euro dollar. Anyway, if you are a seller, so we were discussing that 31.47, 31.50 all the way up to 75, right? So even on the 1 hour chart, it's quite wide range. It's like more than 25 pips, okay? But here we got the helping hand, okay? What I mean by that, look where we react today. And once we close below, retest lower. Where is the helping hand? So within this yellow 1 hour possible supply zone, all right? There was a quite strong reaction, all right? And this dotted line is actually for now is a yesterday low, right? So within the whole wide selling range, I may want to wait for 66, 65, 66. Okay, I may miss that trade, okay? But guys, let's do some math, okay? If I'm gonna to focus at the bottom of this supply, it's a, let's say 50 for easier calculation. Top is a 80, so let's say 25-30 pips is a stop plus 1 above. But for easier calculation, right, it's a 30. So let's try to make the 3R call. So we are looking for 90 pips, right? Well, if we are looking from the bottom of this possible supply for 90 pips, meaning that we are looking for the bottom of this big possible demand zone, where we found out that on intraday basis, like 50% of this zone over here around 3080, 3085, there is possible intraday supply as well. So we have two wide possible demand based on daily, and we were trying to narrow the range, so we have we found something on the hourly chart as well, right? So trying to sell here, we cannot blindly targeting 90 pips, all right? Some logical points on the charts must to be taken into the consideration. In that case, it's around 3085. So selling at 50, so we are talking about 65 pips, not 90, right? And if we are going to take into the consideration some bumps on the road to 85, right? Some corrections within the move, it might not even be 65. So in that case, this risk is a little bit too high, especially for me. So in that case, if I'm within this yellow possible supply zone, if I can get any kind of the helping hand, in that case, yeah, it's yesterday low, it's the reaction point today. If I can get it, and if I can narrow the distance between the entry and the stop, all right, I'm gonna to take it, and I'm gonna to watch eventually if we are gonna to rally back toward this zone. Of course, if they hit only 50 and they will start to going lower again, I'm gonna miss that trade, all right? But anyway, I wouldn't feel comfortable with this trade because what I've mentioned a second ago. So in that case, I would like to see rally back towards 66. We know the stop is above 80, so in that case, we were able to cut by half the distance between entry and stop. Okay, so I just need 45 for 3R from here, 45, 50 is a retest of the demand, 45 is somewhere here, so I may have better trade than 3R, right? So in that case, yes, I'm gonna to take the helping hand, I'm gonna to narrow distance between entry and stop. In case I would be interested in this level, I'm not. I would like to eventually see cable rally back towards weekly open, or even retest and failure around 33, right? I think that from this zone somewhere here we may see the rally back on the cable. Actually, I've been thinking about this earlier today and before our meeting. Right on this move to the downside here, I've been hit hard, but that's the life. But anyway, that's how it looks from my perspective on cable. All right, pound 12.10. All right. So where we are, Friday's high taken out. Now the fix gonna be important. Weekly, we've got this 25 and then higher 55.60. All right, so all this intraday, weekly, we've got everything here. Daily, some top of the channel of the daily. There you go. Everything is here. That's gonna be challenge. That's gonna be real challenge here. Okay. All right. Small reminder, guys. We are gonna to meet twice tomorrow. Morning, Frankfurt and pre-London Open. All right, and then again, so it's at 8 CET time, and again 2 p.m. CET time. It's like 1 GMT. All right, we are gonna to have similar meeting like what we have right now, and we are gonna to focus on, especially in the third part, we are gonna to focus on Bank of Canada and rate decision. In the first part, we are gonna to focus on ADP, right? So something like preliminary for before the non-farm payrolls. So the afternoon meeting looks like it might be again very, very interesting. So euro dollar well below 113. No longer, at least for now, interested in any kind of the longs, right? In that case, right now, if we are gonna to close within next half an hour, if the fix is gonna be around current level or lower, and next half an hour we are gonna be still lower, then the rally back towards 1310, 1320, that might be this time selling opportunity. That's how it looks right now. All right, so that's it from me today, guys. Thank you very much. That was my pleasure. Yeah, that was our first afternoon meeting. I'm pretty sure if we are gonna be able to meet 2-3 times per week, then you are gonna to get some things much quicker, and hopefully you are gonna be able to call them useful. So that's it today from me, guys. Be careful around the fix in London. See you again tomorrow, first at 8 a.m. CET, second time at 2 p.m. CET. Have a great evening. Take care. See you.
It would be great to have someone who could do our work for us, right? Someone to prevent us from making mistakes. Someone to assist with our routine professionally and allow us to devote our time to communicating with our closest people. If only we could get results without wasting our time for nothing. Unfortunately, it's impossible in real life. But wait, Light Forex Social Trading. Spend your time doing what really matters to you.